Hello.
Oh, my mic was off. Hi.
Well, Ohio, Sakai. Good morning, world.
What? What was that?
I said good morning, world.
Introduce us. What are we? What is this?
Hi. Hello and welcome, friends, Romans, countrymen. I'm Steven. I'm one half of You Can't Disappre Show, the show that airs before we record You Can't Disappoint a Podcast.
We sure do, don't we?
I'm happy today to be joined by the esteemed educator, philanthropist,
yes,
midnight man.
Where are you going with this?
Doctor.
Okay.
Zachary Martavius Pruitt III, Esquire, attorney at law, DDS.
Yes, and the third isn't because of my family. That's just one of my middle names.
It is. It's true.
So I don't need to introduce myself at all because that was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought I'd, really roll out the shag carpeting for you today.
Wow. Yeah, not fancy enough for the red carpet, but the shag carpet.
No. Yeah, the red one's at the wash.
It's a month from Valentine's Day, and because of what we're talking about here this afternoon, it made me think of how we've spent several Valentine's Days together. Yes,
we really have.
How many Valentine's Days have we spent together?
2 or 3. Yeah.
What did we call them? To ourselves.
Yeah, we called it our Palentine's Day.
Yeah.
Steven
and I were sad single boys, and we would hang out on Valentine's Day, so we weren't alone. And we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, probably my favorite Valentine's Days, that I've had.
Definitely my favorite Valentine's Day out of like high school relationships. Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
and I don't know. Lily and I were in Disney World on Valentine's Day last year.
That's at the top.
But yeah, I think ours are probably better. What did we do? One year we saw The Disaster Artist.
Okay, so it was Zoolander.
Was it Disaster Artist? Was that February?
Yeah, I think so.
So there are these really great photos of Steven and I posing with a cardboard cutout of Tommy Wiseau, of James Franco as Tommy Wiseau in The Disaster Artist. And do you think people probably definitely thought we were on a date, right?
Oh,
yeah. People thought that. I mean,
we could have played it off as two
making
friends
a scene,
making a movie until we did the poses with the cutouts together. That's a pretty date activity.
The amount of clothes we still had on at the end of it definitely gave it away. They seem closer than buddies.
Yeah. I aim where I aim.
So I was trying to think a little bit because our friendship has had like different chapters, you know? We were kind of tight, and then we were really tight, and then we were really tight, and then we were kind of tight, and then we did a podcast together.
Yeah.
But do you remember? I'm trying to think of the earliest possible interaction I can think of.
What year did you start going to Anderson?
Well, I went to Highland my freshman year.
Okay, that's
if I'm being honest, I don't remember you much from my freshman year.
Mm-mm.
Were you
I knew
choir?
No, I wasn't. I was only in band.
I can't remember us having any classes together in my freshman year. And if we did, I was really quiet. And I was kind of quiet in classes throughout all of school till a point. My earliest memories, and I think I knew who you were by like sophomore or junior year.
Yeah.
And then it was senior year when we were really buddies, right?
Because we were in show choir together junior year.
And we weren't that close.
No, like I liked you. I thought you were cool.
Yeah,
mutual friends, I think
I think the feeling was similar. And I was thinking, I even remember while we were still in high school that we got together and tried to record a podcast. Do you remember that?
Oh my God, we did, didn't we?
Because we had an English class together, a really hard English class that we spent. That's when I really remember first really connecting with you.
Each other.
Yeah, I think you sat behind me. We were in like on like thin rows, and I think you sat behind me. And good morning, communities.
Good morning.
Papa says hello.
Dad.
Yeah, and we were in this English class together, and I remember always being like, "Oh, we should start a podcast."
Yeah,
and we really shouldn't have. But I remember you coming over to my parents' house, and we sat in my bedroom with the door closed. Wink. How did that get past the censors? And we sat with my iPhone on the floor, and we tried to record a podcast, the two of us, and we had nothing to say. Well, I think it was the first time that we hung out like that.
Yeah.
So what were we expecting to talk about?
I don't know.
I don't think we recorded really anything.
No, there couldn't be anything there.
What were you about to say?
I'm just trying to think of what we would have talked about at the time, because like
current events. I don't know.
At the time, we bonded mostly over like our music tastes.
Is that true? Oh, or television tastes, I think, as well. Because it was immediately Community. I remember talking about Community in that same English class. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Good morning from the Pacific Northwest. Shout out to Washington, Oregon, and Northern California.
Yes. Good morning from that.
It's early.
And also, what's up, Vlog Pastor? He loves the podcast. Keep it going. Well, you know, we were going to announce its end today.
Yeah, that's why we brought you here. The final chapter has come to a close.
I do remember that the only idea we had for a podcast was that it was going to be called Zach and Steven Have a Podcast. And we were going to sing it like Troy and Abed. Yeah. Yeah. Which I think almost led to this very podcast that we're getting ready to record being called about the same thing that Dom and Andre's podcast is called. And that would have made that rivalry even more fun.
Yes, I'm glad that we kept going with the name ideas until we landed on this one.
Yeah, I think I like ours.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it for the world.
Right.
So back to us.
Yeah.
When did you date my girlfriend?
That was the very same time that we were in that English class together. Because it was coming in from the summer before senior year into senior year. So it was that fall.
Because I very much remember you complaining about them. And also the beginning of it when you weren't complaining.
Yeah.
And I very, very clearly remember when Lily started dating the person after you, that we walked past them in the hallway. And we'd always be like, "Oh, buddy, yeah, don't worry about it, man. You're up here. That guy, come on."
Yeah, which I mean.
And in my head, I was like, "I will marry them one day."
Like,
and I meant you, but that's just not. I took the next best thing.
And we kind of bonded over the fact that we were both dating somebody in a lower grade. And we were going through the struggles and whatever of that in high school, and But
I also feel like we had an even deeper connection because very much on my part, but I feel like on both of our parts, we were kind of a dick in high school to the people we were dating, and we were like, "We're cool, right?"
Yeah, there was definitely some of that.
But there was also friendship. Yeah. Did we hang out many other times in high school outside of school?
Yes, before school.
Before school. Oh, we skipped school together several times.
So we had like first period and third period together.
Wow, what was the first period?
First period was English.
First period?
Yeah.
Had that much fun that early in the morning?
Yeah, no one else was thrilled about it.
Yeah.
And then third period we had not geography. It was like the government. Government was what it was.
Mr. Fox?
No, that was econ. Government we had Mr. Harrison because we had it with Ben Watson.
I don't remember that class.
We didn't go over a lot.
Wait. Was there a lot of writing on the whiteboard involved? I do remember that, but I remember very, very little about the class. I remember hanging out with you and Ben.
Yeah. And so what we would do is we would go to McDonald's before school.
Well, no, here's the thing.
Sit in your truck or just
because skipping school was not as easy or fun as it sounded.
No.
Because the idea. Oh wait, we got a shout out for our boy Ben Watson in the comments. He's a good boy. He wasn't
in that picture of Vlogpaster.
Oh really? Yeah, Ben, I'll bring it back up. Ben Watson is all the way to the right of this view. That's our boy Ben. His song was in an episode of our podcast. I think Ben doesn't watch Community other than a few episodes, but I feel like he would be a lot of fun to involve somehow.
Oh, yeah.
He's a cool guy. So yeah, but skipping school wasn't really what you thought it would be, because when you skip school, what you want to do is like sleep extra, but you still have to like leave your house at the same time. So it doesn't look like you're skipping school. It doesn't, you still got to make it look like you're going to school, and then you've got to get to school at an exact time. So it's like at a passing period. So we'd always kind of like talk about it was us and another friend.
Yeah.
Sometimes two other friends. Did Ben come with us once?
He came once or twice.
And we would like maybe talk about all sleeping in someone's car, but obviously that never happened. We would, like you said, go to McDonald's and get breakfast. And
there's a photograph that
we thought we were so edgy.
It's somewhere on our Instagram, but it's the time that we went from McDonald's. We weren't quite ready to go to school yet.
Sure. Did we skip 2 periods instead of 1 that day?
3. We went to Walmart.
Just don't go.
Right? We went to Walmart, and there's a picture of us all wearing like superhero masks and like holding up like a Captain America shield.
I remember that.
I think you were a Ninja Turtle.
We called ourselves the Avengers. It was very lame, and we thought we were so cool and edgy that we posted pictures of it on social media.
Yeah.
So then I remember, and also I'll give a shout out to Vlogpaster. I knew who you were. I just like the username. We used to work at a family video together. Every family video is closing.
That breaks my heart.
Yeah. Not surprised. It's 2021. I'm surprised it lasted this long.
Yeah, I am too.
They're all closing. So we were really close in senior year, but not like hang out all the time close.
Yeah.
But when we had a class together, we talked all the time. Yeah.
And then we would, like, every once in a while, like I remember we had a very good time at a fair. But did we go to that fair together or just run into each other at the fair?
I went with another mutual friend. Did you also go with another mutual friend?
Maybe.
I don't remember. I don't remember that close.
Yeah.
We were gonna room together in college, and that didn't happen for a bunch of reasons. But I think that would have been fun.
It would have been
compared to what our college experience ended being. Like speaking, I mean, we spent just about every day together. Yeah.
Definitely, because we and I think we've told this story in the podcast before, but what ended up happening is Zach and I both had a class that we would like go get lunch right before, and then usually end up skipping.
And we'd stay. Did you go to several lunches with me?
Yeah, we went to lunch like all the time.
I would like skip a class or two and go to all 4 lunches.
Yeah,
I don't remember doing that together.
About in college.
Oh, duh. Sorry, I was gone for a second. Yes. We got lunch, us and our friend Chelsea, a lot of times.
Yeah. And one time, Zach and I were like, you know what? We're going to go to class. We're going to really buckle down.
Yes.
So we leave the cafeteria and we walk into the exact same classroom. Because the class we've been skipping the entire semester.
The same class. And how much fun that would have been. Yeah. That's a really funny story. And now we talk about a show about a college, but we both, I don't know, dropped out of college / were asked not to come back after 1 year. But that year really was like, we had other stuff going on and other people that we spent time with, but that year really was a lot of time us spent one-on-one together, doing all kinds of stuff, coming up with a lot of creative ideas together, listening to a lot of music together. A fair bit of debauchery was involved. I won't go into all of it, but that for that period of time, you were like, even though we haven't been best friends our entire life, it was like for that year, you were like one of the best friends I had ever had. And
absolutely,
we did everything together.
Everything. Like, it was like every day, you know, ride around in your truck and listen to CDs, because you used to go and rent like a bunch of albums like from the library, and then we just like go through them. And
we would listen to an album. And it's a little cringy because the music that I was so into during that time is still music that I really like, but isn't exactly a shining example of great music. I remember being like, Steven, we've just got to listen through every Weezer album.
And we did.
So we did. Every day we would listen to the next Weezer album, even the exceptionally bad ones.
But there are some really good ones too, you know? There were some really great musical times that were had.
Yeah. Getting into Against Me together that was definitely a thing, which if anyone likes, I don't know, kind of anarchic punk music when they were younger and more contemplative, almost folksy punk music now that they're older. Against Me is a great band, and their lead singer, Laura Jane Grace, is one of the coolest people on the planet.
Shout out Chicago. She doesn't really like Chicago, but she's from here, lived here, one of those.
Nick asks if Weezer is still one of my favorites. I don't know, because a lot of this time, was I working at Family Video this whole time? So I was very much into Weezer. I don't know if I'd say that they're still a favorite, but I would still probably go to a concert anytime they come to town. I just don't quite put them on when I'm listening to music in the car. But now I work out of my car now, and I spend a lot of time listening to podcasts because I'll be in my car like 8 hours a day. What kind of music are you listening to now, Steven? Is it
okay? So
Anything in English?
A little bit. So I decided last year, about April or May, maybe, because I had been working on like starting to learn Japanese and like stuff like that. And I was like, well, I want to listen to more Japanese music, so I didn't really at the time. And so I kind of stopped listening to English music, especially because like I was working on my own like music stuff too, really a lot more often at the time. And I wanted it to not sound like anything from around here. And so I really started listening to a lot of Japanese music, whether it was mostly anime music. But now I've gotten into a lot of different like artists over there that make music that's not an anime, and I like. There's a band called Eve that my brother showed me that's pretty cool because he's much more well-versed in that realm of music than I am. And then there is a singer whose name I just forgot, but I'm sure it'll pop up if I think about it. It starts with a T. It starts with a Y. Yoasobi. It's like a singer and producer, and they make
a brand of instant noodle.
It sounds like it, right? But they make some pretty banger music too. It's a lot of like pop. Pop is something that I did not really like
until you started listening to non-American music.
Well, there's some good pop in America. I think that Charlie XCX makes some good pop music. Dua Lipa's decent. I think that there's some good pop. But I like J-pop a little better. Not necessarily like bubblegum like J-pop, like I'm not into like the girl groups with 30 members as much, but like some of the like single artists are pretty dope. Lisa is really good. Also, if you want to hear some Japanese music, she like is a singer that's really talented.
I really when I do listen to music nowadays, I've become like a Beatles like historian fanatic kind of. I listen to all of their solo careers a lot. Paul McCartney put out an album recently. I still put that on a lot. I've really grown to like this band Ween. They're kind of one of those bands that are grouped in with bands like the Grateful Dead and Fish, where people go to their concerts and drop acid. But their music is different than that. They're not like a jam band. They're super experimental, and their music is real. Like they did a whole country album. Like they just like do really they just do whatever they feel like. And some of their music's really funny, and some of it's really dark, and it's all really, really good. A song of theirs was the inspiration for SpongeBob SquarePants.
What?
And it's in the end of the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
That's cool.
You would probably know the song if you heard it, like Ocean Man.
Don't you take me by the hand.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's a bop. Yeah. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. So college, what are some of the things that we did in Drake shouted out a Ween song? There's this really dark Ween song that's from the perspective of a young boy that has spinal meningitis and he's asking his mom if he's gonna die.
Yikes. I rock with that.
And they also came up with the SpongeBob song. What were some other things that we did in college that we can talk about?
Well, we're working on a show idea, like several.
Yeah.
And I still think that they're both really good ideas.
Yeah, I still really have the itch to doing this podcast and having an episode out every week and editing an episode really helps scratch that itch. But I've always wanted to, and I kind of did in high school, but I've never like written and produced and put together a piece of something. And I've always wanted to do episodic. So I would love to one of these days just write like a 6-episode thing, schedule out when I can do all of the things. And if you're involved with it, either spend some time in Chicago or find like a weekend to get you over here and do all of your stuff. I think that'd be really fun, but it's a lot of work. And now we're adults with freedom to do stuff like what we're doing right now. But that'd be hard.
Yeah, it was, there's some cool ideas. We also created a playlist like for songs for one of the shows. And I
still have it.
Yeah, there's so many good songs in there.
A lot of
more songs than ever fit in a show.
But you hear songs and be like, oh, that's exactly the mood that I want for something that you would add to. I have not often, but occasionally I'll still add a song to it. It's kind of become like a cinematic song Dropbox thing. So what about after college? We still hung out for a while after college because on my 21st birthday, we went to Chicago and saw Hamilton together. I'm drinking water out of my Hamilton cup that we got.
Hey. Yeah, that was one of the coolest experiences.
Oh, yeah.
Of my life. That was so much fun.
Everything was cool about that trip. We stayed in a hostel.
Yeah, we did.
And I'd never experienced anything like that before. And it was really cool and modern. And the first room we went into was like a closet, but it was kind of dirty. So they gave us a room that's for like 8 people.
Yeah.
So we had like a hotel-sized room hostel together. And then the bathrooms were like, you go through the bathroom door and it's like the bathroom at your mom's house or a parent's house. It's like a bathtub and a shower and a toilet and a sink.
Yeah, it was cool. And then
the common area.
Yeah, there was like a little common space where all the Europeans were chilling.
Oh, I was going to say worldwide peoples. There were all kinds of tourists.
They were all Europeans.
Were they really?
I'd say 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
But we also went to that really cool bar place that was like, I don't remember what it was called, but it's like one of those, you walk in and it looks like some sort of regular store.
The restaurant has a spy theme and it's supposed to be like a hidden spy base. And you walk into the room where you think it is and it's not marked. I remember being in the Uber and having trouble finding where it was. You open the door and it's just like a 1-room office. And it's like this guy at his desk and there's like a screen and he's doing work and he looks up at you and he's like, I forget how it went down, but it pretty much, and it wasn't cheesy at all. They did a good job where it felt really awkward. Even
like if you walked in and didn't know like if we hadn't like looked up what to say,
you just thought it was some bar. Yeah.
You'd be like, I think I have the wrong place. And he'd probably be like, you probably do.
I forget what he said, though. He was like, are you a part of the program or something like that? And then he made us do something ridiculous as like a test of courage or of trust. We had to like walk like a runway model.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And then he pressed a button and the bookcase opened and you go downstairs into this really cool spy-themed restaurant and bar. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. And like when you're down there sitting like in the restaurant, there's like a screen so you can see all the people that walk in and like the silly stuff he makes them do. And that was cool too.
So did we pretty much hang out through to when you moved to Chicago?
Yeah.
Or did we kind of stop? There was a period of time where we weren't really supposed to hang out.
Yeah.
Was that high school or after high school?
That was
that might have been after high school.
I think it was after high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we still hung out.
Yeah. And then like when I moved to Muncie, I feel like we still hung out a fair amount.
I remember coming to your place in Muncie quite a bit, watching a lot of TV there.
Yeah, and, we watched a lot of. That was like the time period of like You're the Worst and Better Things and BoJack Horseman.
I've taught. It's funny because we've come from like in college or when you lived in Muncie. We didn't hang out that much when I lived in Muncie.
No,
a couple times, but we didn't hang out that much. I remember being in like literally not having anywhere to go, so we would hang out in my truck with my laptop.
Yeah,
and we would watch episodes of TV in my truck with the laptop, like in between the turned like into tablet mode, and we would sit for hours. In the Marsh parking lot in Muncie or anywhere where we could go. That's and now we do this, and we both have places. Yeah, and we're adults. Isn't that weird?
Look at us. Who would have thought?
Way to bring things full circle. So we opened this thing. And also, we have like 6 minutes left. If anybody wants to throw out some questions, we'll take questions at the end. If anyone wants to talk and hang out, if not, we can keep being weird. Now I forget what I was saying before that.
You're saying we have our own places.
Yeah, we sure do.
We sure do. But yeah, we've come a long way, you know, and yeah, because I moved from Muncie basically straight to here,
which was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, when we went to Muncie to see Hamilton, when we went to Chicago to see Hamilton, you were kind of deciding.
Yeah, I was still like in the process, like figuring out whether I wanted to move here, and I obviously wanted to move here, but like whether I was going to. You
kind of knew you wanted to, and then we went there, and Chicago is very much a place that I've had several experiences going there, still being pretty young, and then being some of the first trips where I like expand somewhere else. You know what I mean? Where my first times where I like step outside of where I'm from, and you just really fall in love with the city. Like every time I've gone, it's been like that. And I feel like we kind of had that experience. And of course you were going to move there. We went to a shady Irish pub.
Yeah, we did with my uncle's
birthday. Yeah. Do you care if I tell the other side of the story that you weren't 21 yet?
No, that's fine. Yeah.
I mean, now I've already said it. You weren't 21 yet, and you had a way to get in because you knew some people, and it was just us and like 2 or 3 other people in this nice empty Irish pub, and getting drunk and being handed weird things to try, and playing Les Miserables on the touch tunes because the weird guy that we met in the bar wanted us all to sing One Day More together.
I'd forgotten about that part. This guy was really drunk and wanted, and like first we were probably singing because we were drunk. I'm sure I was probably singing, and
we used to sing a lot together. I'm sure it was super annoying.
Listen, my mom wants more of you singing, Zach. I know.
Well, I'll send her some stuff.
There we go. Oh boy.
That makes me think a little bit as we're getting close to wrapping this up of a party that we went to in college. We went to a couple of parties in college together, and they were really fun. But I always had this wall where there would be a point when I was going through all kinds of stuff in college, and I would have a point when I was feeling down and kind of over it. And I remember a specific night where I had been ready to go for a long time, but I just kind of hung out to myself. And then I think it was the same night that you lost your phone at
my God, where the girl with the leather jacket?
I don't know where we're going with this, but I just remember that we went to Steak and Shake after the party, and I was feeling ill. We probably shouldn't have been in a car, and I was feeling really bad. And I had this seminal college experience because you knew I was feeling bad, and the guy driving asked what kind of music that I liked, and you had them put on like a Weezer song, and all of a sudden I felt like good. And I remember that moment in the college movie. And then the girl that was sitting next to me started kissing me.
She did.
And that was a cool college moment too. I don't know who that was.
It was the leather jacket girl's friend.
Oh, did you have something? Oh,
because she was like, okay, I texted your phone, so when you find it, you'll have my number. And you know what I never found?
Her number, because you didn't have your phone. That's some like sitcom.
Now this was a sketchy ass place we used to go to anyway. But I like decided,
I didn't know. I just went where my friend said, let's go.
Exactly. I brought you to danger. But I made the poor decision to put my phone on aux at this party because it was in a locked closet and only the house members.
Because you wanted to be the cool guy with cool taste in music.
Exactly. And I was until the music stopped and my phone sure wasn't there anymore.
When the music stopped, we were on to other stuff. And then you came back and where's my phone?
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, that's about a half hour, and I think the more we talk, the more we're going to say
that we incriminate ourselves.
Maybe we should go talk about community, yeah?
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone for hanging out with us. We're going to do 2 more of these. Next week, I think we're going to play some Among Us.
Woo!
And the week after, we're going to have our friend Alex Webster back to hang out with us before we talk about cooperative calligraphy that week, which is a really great episode. And then the week after that, our Patreon launches. That's crazy.
Big time.
If things go according to plan, because I'm going to have the project I'm working on for Patreon, I'm going to have different guests on. And I think I'm recording the first one of those on Sunday. So I'm really excited for that to see how that goes. And I'm a little bit nervous. I'm going to have someone in the studio with me to record, and I've never done that before. I don't know what it's like to talk to someone face to face.
You should probably wear a few more clothes than when I come over to record.
Pants?
At the minimum.
I always thought socks were enough. You know, my feet are warm.
Hey.
So thanks to everyone for hanging out with us. Come back next Thursday and hang out with us, 12:30.
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming.
We're going to go record the show. Steven, what do you have to say to the weird people who want to hang out with us more than they already have to?
Make sure that you listen to the podcast if you don't already.
Shout out to the episode that we're on. The episode that came out most recently with Steven's mom, where we talk about messianic myths and ancient peoples. I think was one of our best podcasts.
I think so. I think that's one of our best ones.
Parts with your mom and the parts with just the two of us later on. So please go check that out. The Joel McHale interview, if by chance you haven't seen that yet, please go check that out. Sorry, finish your thing.
No, yeah, but just listen to us wherever podcasts are played. And we're on YouTube too. Hi Lil. Rub it in, why don't you? With the profile picture.
I'll put up the version where it's your face later.
Thank you.
I'll finish this with that story. I was trying to get Lily yesterday, not with that picture, but to edit, since we were going to tell the stories of us meeting and becoming friends. Yeah. I wanted a photo edited of the poster for When Harry Met Sally with our faces on it, and I was gonna make it like when we met each other. And Lily probably spent like an hour and a half trying to make it, and then I walked into the room and they were like, I'm not sure how to do this. So that didn't happen, but it was really funny. It was really great. They tried to help. Someone wants to shout out your mom. Steven's mom was great. Yeah, so please check out that episode if you didn't. Finish your final thoughts. Let's get out of here and record.
Listen to us, watch us, follow us. We're on Twitter at You Can't Diss a Pod. We're on
physically to our.
If you see us, like, don't say hi or anything. Just like walk really close behind, and we'll know.
Kidnap us.
Oh, I'd like that.
Come back with a potato sack and like pour at Pamela Anderson us. Yeah.
Yeah. The if you like are willing to rent a van and like even like an extraction team to kidnap one of us, you can be on the show.
Sure.
At least once.
Sure. And coming up pretty soon, if you give us money on Patreon, you can be on the show at least once, right?
Exactly. So,
all right.
2 ways to win. All right, guys.
Let's get out of here. We're going to go inside the Dreamatorium, right?
Yeah. The door's right there behind Zach. I'm on the other side of it.
Have a good weekend, everyone. We will see you on Monday when the podcast comes out.
Yes, that is all it takes to get on the show.